Hello, Gabriel here with Nerd Sheet, and I'm here with Joe St. Pierre, who is in the middle of a sketch right now. Pretty awesome. Always working.
Don't bother me.
Always working. The life of an artist. Doing great. How's been your experience so far here at Super Megafest?
I always do good at Super Megafest. I don't know if it's the water or something, but it's always pretty steady here. So I like Ken. Ken runs the show. He's a great guy, and the show always does good for me. So we're selling a lot of new Zodiacs books. That's my series that I created. And we're selling prints today, so doing good. Yep. And commissions.
Hey, commissions are always the fun part.
Is that video camera?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah. All right, so a few questions for who's your absolute favorite character to draw?
That I don't own myself, you mean?
It could be one that you own, that's fine.
Okay.
It's a character.
Probably, right now is probably the Liberator. He's a hacker who accesses the web psychically with his mind. So he wears like a liquid metal skin that kind of allows him to access the web without any kind of computers or anything like that.
Oh.
So he's probably my favorite, but non-creator-owned character, I'm always a Spider-Man fan. So I think you are too, right?
I am too, yes. I got the giant spider on my...
I was looking at your shirt, though.
Well, yeah, I have a lot of these too. That's awesome. So you've drawn the most Spider-Man #1s and the covers and all that. So what has been your favorite Spider-Man cover that you've drawn?
Well, I've drawn more #1 issues, not just covers, but interior art as well. So I've drawn more #1 issues than any other artist featuring Spider-Man or his cast. So my favorite one, that's a good question. I know I did a one-shot called Spider-Man: The Parker Years, which was kind of like a review of like the greatest hits of Spider-Man's history. So I got to draw all of his villains and supporting cast members and guest stars and stuff like that. So that was probably the most fun to draw. It wasn't necessarily the best seller, but it was the most fun to draw because it had the whole Rogues Gallery, Hobgoblin, Green Goblin, Kraven, Venom, the whole deal. And then I also did a story with David Michelinie, the creator of Venom. That was the Planet of the Symbiotes. It was a one-shot kind of thing, and that was a lot of fun too. That was kind of cool. And the movie, the Venom movie that's out now, is kind of a hint of that storyline in the movie. Did you see the movie?
I did. I thought it was excellent.
Did you like it?
I did like it. A lot of people hated it, but I liked it. I don't care what other people think.
For sure. The second one is going to be better, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to give anything away, but we know it's coming up, and now Venom is Venom. He's Eddie and the alien are getting they're together, so they're in full action mode.
I think they laid down very good groundwork for the future of that franchise.
Yeah,
I think they did good.
So it's like Venom 2, Venom 3, they're going to kick butt.
I was hesitant without the Spider-Man origin, but I think they did it pretty well.
I think it worked.
Yeah.
I think it worked fine.
Absolutely. So what is your favorite thing about drawing Spider-Man? It could be something specific like the web or just the character in general.
Well, the original costume design, I just think it's inspired by just the idea of like draping webs across, the web continues from the center of his face down through the body. I just think that's an inspired idea, and I haven't seen anything like it since that's really that good. So I like that kind of idea. It's not always easy to draw. It's kind of a pain sometimes, but I think it's for sure the design.
Yeah. Very cool costume, I agree. What inspired you to become a comic book artist?
It might be Spider-Man comics, I don't remember like the formative moment in my life, but I have pictures of me when I was like 4 years old holding comics. I mean, they're kind of like exposed. I was exposed to them really, really early in my life and just could never really try to shake it. It just stayed with me the whole time. So ever since I was like maybe 5, I've been drawing my own comics. And not just like characters that already existed, but I also made up my own characters that young too. So it's something I've always done my entire life. It's hard to imagine my life without doing that stuff,
That's amazing. Amazing. So, who were your favorite artists growing up?
I used to like, let's see, the Buscema brothers were favorites of mine. John Buscema, Sal Buscema, John Romita, Steve Ditko. The Spider-Man guys were pretty much. John Romita is one of my personal gods, you know. Jack Kirby. And then as I started to grow up, I got into George Perez and Frank Miller, John Byrne, Bill Sienkiewicz. And that's enough, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's always good to have inspiration. What are some of your favorite current artists that are doing new stuff now?
Oh, that's a good question, because I don't really read a lot of new stuff, but I like Nick Bradshaw's work a lot. I don't really know what he works on, but every time I see his work, I stop and look. I think his work is really good. And I think Ryan Stegman is on Venom now. I think he's doing a great job. Do you have anybody you like?
Currently, not. It's hard to have something stick out. Like, you know, back. I think the last time a comic book stuck out to me was probably like maybe 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, really?
I was really stuck out. Todd McFarlane was probably just the way he designed his webbing. It just drew me. I was like, man, there's so much detail just in the web alone. I was like, oh, it's like swirling all over the place.
It kind of revolutionized like the look of the character at the time, for sure. And people are still kind of following that a little bit nowadays, right? Yeah, Todd's terrific. There's a guy, I think his name is Jason Latour. He's doing a book called Southern Bastards. I think his work is great, especially suited for the material. That's another thing that's kind of cool is the writer, the artist, almost like a baseball team or a football team. You got to get the right combination of players with coach, you know. It's like with a comic book, it's like the artist with the writer, with the colorist, with the characters, the storyline, you know. And I think Southern Bastards is one of those kind of books where the story with the artist and the color, the whole look kind of all comes together and becomes one kind of thing. That's what I like. I always wanted to be part of that kind of thing.
That's awesome. So, final question. If you could be one superhero for a day, who would it be and why?
Let's stay with the Spider-Man theme, I guess. Just because I'm afraid of heights, and I'd love to swing across skyscrapers and not die. I think that would be fun.
That would be fun. So yeah, those are the questions that Scott, who tweeted you, sent me.
Okay.
But just one more question.
Okay.
You've seen a lot of costumes today, I'm sure. Or in yesterday.
Not today, yesterday.
Yesterday mostly. What was the one that kind of stuck out to you that you were like, oh my God, that's just amazing?
Oh, there was a dude dressed like Prince yesterday. Yeah, he looked awesome. Yeah.
There was a guy dressed as Prince yesterday. He was awesome.
Purple Rain era, right? Yeah, that was great.
He was great. I agree.
Taller than Prince, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Prince was like 5'6", 5'7". That guy was probably 6'1".
Yeah, easy. Yeah. Very tall. Awesome. But that was cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you. Nerd
Thanks
Sheet.
for helping spread the new Z.
Yeah. I like this one though. This is
this one.
This
yeah,
guy's
that's
cool.
in there too. That's
But that cover is oof.
It's the first issue of the single. I did a 4-issue mini, and that's the first issue of the singles. And you can buy that as a trade with 4 issues.
Such a cool
Thank you, man.
cover. I love it. Awesome.
Hello everybody. This here is Roxy. Roxy would love for you to subscribe to the Nerd Sheet, because for every 100 subscribers, I will buy her another squeaky toy. Ain't that right, Roxy? So subscribe for Roxy.